doing a work like a business. I said, no, I don't have capital. I can't do much about the business, because now, where do I get money? I said, no, this is not enough. What happens? Now I have papers, but there's no work. I started now serious gambling, playing cards, playing football, doing so many things, up and down. The job is not coming. There's no capital for starting the business. You are getting wasted. You are getting old. You are not seeing the clan helping you. Actually, instead of helping you, they're avoiding you. You go this side, they say, you also go back to your home. Go back to your mom. And yet they chased the mom from the village. They sophisticated the land. We remain there, nothing, helpless. I said, no, what do we do? But now, 2013, so when I heard of Enterprise Uganda, their first training in a sorority demonstration school. I wanted to go for that training. But again, in that going in there, I needed money, and of which I didn't have money. I only had 5,000 in my pocket. The 5,000 from Serere to Sorority was 5,000. Just the tax pack. From the tax pack to the training side is the demonstration school. It's 2,000 about. But I landed in Moses Telu, Dominic, who was going to Sorority. He said, no, let me take you to Sorority. When I requested him, sat on his pickup. I went the tax pack. He told me, I will not wait for you. And I cannot take you to demonstration. Come Swahili. Find your own way. I walked there. But going there, Enterprise Uganda again wanted 5,000 for entering their training. But I said, no, 5,000, I have 5,000. But I cannot pay this money now. When it comes going back to Serere, it will be a problem to me. And I cannot walk up to Serere some good distance. I moved around until I sneaked inside for that training. I did their security. People were collecting money. Entered for that training. I started enjoying training, but hunger was torturing me because I had not eaten even supper. Now, I was admiring their t-shirts, but again fearing them to move next to me. I went and I sat next to the door, waiting for them to come and arrest me. I cannot pay the money for their training. I could struggle them and I take off. Now time for breakfast came. They were moving the tickets, coupons. Somebody was coming to give me a coupon. I first got up and I walked aside. And my neighbor said, there's someone seated here. That guy there, you leave his ticket here. Is a coupon here? I said, fine. Now, when they placed the coupon, I went and I picked that coupon. I went also for breakfast. Now, there were so many things. Mr. Chichi was giving us so many delicious things, teaching us about how you can start a business and so on and so forth. Madam Inek also came. She was narrating her stories, giving us how she started, giving us those clips, how people started. I said, I think, but before that, when I got to know about Enterprise Uganda, they told me, when you go to Enterprise Uganda, at least they teach you, can even give you money for starting, like capital. And nothing motivated me. But when I reached there, I got a different thing. They were only teaching people, they were not giving. But it helped me it helped open my mind. Now, The first breakfast was done. Lunchtime was served. I enjoyed also lunch. I said, fine. I think I can move on. Now I started now thinking about supper and where to sleep. And now I can go back to Serere. Now, if you leave the trainings for 1 week, if you leave, you have to be paying 5,000, actually 10,000 now, or around 20, actually 12,000. You pay 10,000 plus the other two. I said, I cannot afford, let me sleep. I slept there, no covering, but because of what Mr. Chicha and the colleagues, what they were teaching us in that training, I said, well, I think this thing will work. I started changing, but also the other mind for the gambling was still installed in my brain. And now I think I may waste time here if they don't give me money for starting the business, or if they don't give me work, anything that I can use for surviving here. I said, fine, let me first end here for today. Yeah, I started that and I enjoyed the training. But after now the training, I went back home and I said, now they have told us that you can do whatever you can and get the business started. I started realizing, like, if I went in for the brickwork as a business, I think I can achieve. Now, like Madam Mineko, for her, she did her brickwork and she also benefiting. Now I went there and I started the brickwork. Actually, I locked myself in for 3 days. I started the brickwork. I enjoyed the brickwork. I made some bricks. And I remembered in a training, they used to tell us that if you have any redundant asset, you can dispose that thing off, and in the long run, you can, if you need it, you can replace after getting money. You know, in my education, I passed after senior 6. I was among the top 5 students in the district. So my mom bought for me a t-shirt. The t-shirt was big, lousy. Somebody was interested also in that t-shirt, just say 49. So I said, I think I can give this guy the t-shirt to support me make more bricks. This guy made for me 2,000 bricks. I also topped up 2,500. I sold those bricks. After selling the bricks, I got some good money, like 450 around that. I said, I think I can now start my business. Now I started now the welding business. Actually, that one now came in that I think I learned. I have some skills. I learned how to fabricate. I can now buy whatever I want. I said, no, I think I cannot, this money is little. It cannot buy for me the machines. I went and I got someone from Kikota. He had a machine and he was not using that machine. I said, fine, let me hire this man. I started hiring a machine. 50,000 I paid for that machine. I said, I think they used to tell us about reinvestment to multiply. I said, fine, let me put back some money into brickwork, and the rest of the money I can invest in this materials. I said, fine. I started the welding workshop with the one hired machine, a set of machine, and I was paying him 50,000. Then now I said I cannot do it alone. I got a brother to this guy, the one who hired me a machine. But actually, I said I thought I was making it. I was solving a problem, but it became worse. You're employing the owner of the item almost, the brother, the owner of the machine. At the same time, you're hiring their machine. One time he even punished me. He took the machines to the sites. He got his work. But he didn't bring the machine back, and yet we had the customers. But I said, fine. Long as you'll bring it back. I went for that machine. I brought it back to the site. It was a struggle. I continued making bricks. After the second sales, I said, now, I think this guy has offered disturbed him because of their machine. Let me get rid of this machine. Now, I bought my own machines. When I bought the machine, I started thinking now there was something coming now in the stock. Now, but I never left the business of machines. I mean, making bricks. Although I was getting money now in a welding, never used the business of brick. I continued with the bricks. I continued with the bricks until I saw like I could not run the two businesses at a go. Now I said, let me first close the business of bricks. I concentrate on welding because the customers had become many and started now supplying even the district people. Sometimes you are called somewhere. Sometimes you get a big contract. Sometimes you are called, you are contacted to go and stage in some site, fabricate doors from there. I said, I think I can now remain here. Now, I started now serious work. Then I started making doors, windows, signages, gates, benches, compound cleaning tools, building construction equipment. Some of them started supplying materials, inputs. So the other side I closed. I said, fine. Hello? Now, I got the market. My market was from the local community. I started with the local community. When they admired what I was making, they said, I think, actually, for someone to give you a business, you have to be trustworthy. So the local community supplied them. The schools supplied the schools, hospitals, churches, the local government, and even the regional market. Like in Kenya, I do some work in Kenya, the workshop in Kenya, the NGOs, I supply the NGOs, like construction works. I do the construction works now. Actually, the welding itself introduced me to the construction works because before registration, I could make the BOQs. I could make the BOQs for the district officials. But at the end of the day, they tell you are not registered. So in 2016, I got registered. I registered a business. I registered first of all as a business. I registered as a business. Then after, and I registered as a business, still it could not add a value. They still wanted you to be paying your taxes, paying what I said. I think it is now a high time for me to register this, because I used to fear paying taxes, and that is a giving out of money. I said, now do I get all this money, then I give out the government again. But one time someone told me that if you want to get a government work, then you should pay taxes. And that's how I registered in 2016. I registered LETSOM Investment as a company. It is a fully registered. In 2020 is when I registered another company. You know what made me register another company to the competition? I registered this company because sometimes they want to give you more than 3-4 things, 4 contracts. And there they tell you the PPDA Act doesn't permit us to give more than 2. I said, fine, let me register this company. So I can now get more than 2 or 3 using these 2 companies under my name. Also, I had some challenges, although they were also achievements, but they also challenges. One of the challenges is just competition. You know, there's also a lot of competition in the market or in this business. Actually, every business that you open, you find overcoming the PPDA registration, those documents alone. For you to register, you have to pay a lot of money. You have to register the company, that is money. You go to revenue, that is money. You go everywhere, that is money. So registration is alone is a problem. Then working capital. You know, when you get a large contract or a big contract, there's also a problem of funding that project. So it's also a challenge. You train the workers, but retaining the workers, some of the workers even tend to be our competitors. But you don't sit. You have to find a way of managing them. The transport itself, like if you want transport materials, the construction site, supplying doors, it is also a challenge. You know, like if you got a big contract of construction, hiring the equipment from, like if you have got a contract in Kampala, you have to hire equipment from Kampala to Serere, whatever the location for that site is. So I have to hire the machines, and hiring that equipment is a cost. There's a competition from like the other companies. You know, those big companies tend to cover these smaller ones. You know, sometimes they go and bribe maybe the procurement process. They pay a lot of money there so that you, the smaller contractors, you don't get the work. The rising cost of inputs, implements. If you want to own your personal, you make sure you stop doing other things in order for you to buy one item. Then the location itself. Serere is down there in a remote area. So maybe for you to get to know that there's also a big contract in a Kampala, needs you to stage in a Kampala. But again, when you compare yourself with people in Kampala, you cannot. Now COVID came. COVID also affected, like the sites. You have won the contract, but they want you to camp, and the cost of camping is high. You have to buy the sanitizer. Actually, they want you to social distance. You have to hire the accommodation. You have to, so many things. For me, what I did, I had to buy the tents for them to camp, because really it was a challenge. So I said, what I had to achieve, because what you have to know, what you have, once you have set your mind that you want something, and besides to close the other gap, the gap that I used to have. Actually, the enterprise Uganda helped me a lot. It opened my mind, because for me, when I used to hear about businesses, I could look at people who are doing business like people who started big. I didn't know that a business can be started out of the scratch. But because of the training that I got, I said, fine. I think there's nothing that cannot be achieved, long as you set yourself to start something. So I learned so many key lessons there. One of the key lessons that I learned was, actually, if someone wants to start a business, I learned you cannot start a business, or when you have not, you can't fear to start a business when you have not started. You cannot learn the bitterness of that business. You cannot learn how the business is done when you have not started. So many. Now, for you to start a smaller business, your mindset and attitude are the key. You have to set your mindset. You have to change. You have to change in order for you to start the business. You must start in order to know how difficult or easy something is. You know, the highly educated people sometimes, like how I used to think after Elegon, and that thing costed me a lot, and I wasted a lot of time at home gambling, because I thought by finishing my education, I thought that was the end. I could not start these small things. But I later on, after the training, I realized I'd wasted a lot of time. That I would have covered a lot if I immediately 2008, if I'd started the business, I would be very far now. So that mindset was there. It was a challenge. The papers or the education I got from Melbourne, I thought it was enough. But I realized there was a time wastage there, because I was fearing to stand, and how will the village people now see me? How will they see me now? I went to school, now again I'm starting a different thing. I'm starting business. And I said, and I also learned, actually, people who want to start the business should know that there is no correct amount for starting the business. Any money can start a business. Just even the knowledge, how you tune yourself can start a business. Of course, you can't guarantee you will need 100 million for you to start something. No. And the business that you start small is the business that will do well. Because as you are starting it, you'll now realize, you'll now discover how to manage that business. The more you grow, the more adjustments that you make. Yeah, I also realized there's a little research or specific research necessary for you to start the business. Then in a business needs learning, lessons. Learning will improve your skills. Even reading, you need to read. When you read, you'll discover there are other things that needs to be done. Training the workers. You need to train, continuous training. Training develops the skills of the staff. Constant trainings will make you even discover the loopholes that you have in the business. Like competition. Actually, for me, I don't fear my competitors. And most of my competitors now in Serere are the people that I train. But you have to do something unique that will make you different from them, that they did not do. And you have to identify. But if you don't do the trainings, if you don't do the learning, if you don't go for research, if you don't go for outings will make you discover new products. Because if you stay in one point, you may not discover what other people are doing the other side. More so like even just the structures, the architectures also sometimes tend to do something different, but there's a tendency where the person, maybe like you want somebody has constructed you and he says, we need some adjustments here. So you must do the research, you must do the training, you must do a lot in order for you to get what you want. There are so many things that you can achieve if you concentrate. By the business needs concentration. With the business, you don't delegate 100%. With the business, you have to delegate maybe possible or 40 or 20, but full time, you have to be there. You don't sleep when you are starting business, or even when you have started a business. Like more so, it's dangerous when the business has started growing or when it grows. Like now for me, I don't sleep. 3 hours enough. The rest of the time, you have to calculate, how are you going to pay people? If we tried this, can't we get this? If we did this, can't we do this? So there are so many things, and there are so many things that business requires. And for you to be a business person, the mindset, once you conquer it, the attitude, you have to change your attitude. Yes, I'm educated, fine. But what do I need? That is attitude. And I learned people don't respect others because maybe they are highly educated. maybe they are what, maybe the size of the person, the age. But if you have cash, you find an older man can even call you Muse, can call you daddy, can, because of what you have, because of the cash that you have, because of what you are doing, because of what you are. So if you're outside there and you fear to start the business, that I have 2,000 shillings, I cannot start a business. It is the right time that you open up your mind and you start. You taste the world. That is tasting the world, the bitterness and the sweetness of the world. And if you don't taste by starting, you will never start a business. And mark you, today you are thinking of starting maybe brickwork here in Kampala. There's another person starting to start the same business in that locality. And if you don't be the first to start, another person will start. And when the other person starts and it beats you, there you'll fear to start that. And there's a brickwork done the other side. I can no longer start the brickwork. And here the brickwork was a cheapest business that you could start. Like me, I decided to start a brickwork because I saw it was cheap. They were hiring anthill, but me, I just went and I discussed with the owner of the anthill that fine, let me handle the business of bricks here. When I sell them, I can give you. And indeed, he accepted. And they were hiring it at 200 plus. So since my mindset was set and my attitude was set to start a business, and that was the business that I did a research on. I went and I started it immediately. I did not wait again for a week, 1 month, what, to start. Because if I had waited, another person would have gone there and taken that opportunity. So think about it and start it. All right.
Excellent. Wow. I think Moses deserves a round of applause for his beautiful presentation and demystifying the topic, starting small. Is it still a myth? I don't know. But I hope Moses has cleared most of the issues that have been holding us from getting started. Just to summarize, Moses says, beyond attitude and mindset, you are the #1 capital. Even just your energy can get started. How many of us have been holding on to ourselves, our energies, our talents, instead of using them to get started? #2, Moses says, some of us, the reasons why we don't get started in business, we think we don't have capital, but we have a lot of redundant assets. Remember the example? He used a t-shirt. It became capital. He said, dispose it off, later on you can buy a better one.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Can we now invite a number of questions and reactions in the interest of time? Moses is ready.
Excuse me, sir. Long was audible.
Hello? In
Hello?
the interest of time, can we receive some reactions from the audience, some questions? Moses is around to answer any if you have. Anybody there with a burning question? Hello? Yes? Who is online? Yes, Maureen.
Yeah, let me ask a question. Thank you. Auri. Yes, I'm Rose. I'm called Rose. Okay, can you please tell us how many people you're employing now? Because you said you started with you began with it was, I mean, you're the only person making the bricks. So today, so many years later, how many people have with working with people?
Very good. Beautiful. That question has been taken. Maureen, I can see your hand also as well. Maureen, can you unmute your microphone?
Yes, thank you so much for your presentation. As a small business, I'm faced with the challenge of pilferage and the workers taking a lot of things and ending up bringing the business. As you, how did you handle this matter and how is it right now?
Excellent. Thank you, Maureen. Another one, we have Godfrey Chiberu, please, you're on. Unmute your microphone and ask your question.
Yes, thank you, Moses, for your journey. It is really touching. It is reflective of what almost all of us go through, but yours was a bit tougher. But now I need to learn from you. How are you handling growth in terms of capital management? Do you use loans? Did you bring on partners to bring more money in the business? How did you handle growth? Because I know a time came when you needed money and you did not have that money because of the contracts you got. So how did you go about that, pulling together resources, financial resources?
Excellent. Thank you. Abdallah, you're on. Abdallah, can you ask your question?
Oh, thank you so much, Joseph. I was wondering, which is the best way of recruiting, of bringing people on board? Because I've had the challenge of having the right people and the method to use to bring the right people.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Beautiful. Any other question? Any other hand? I'm not seeing any other hand. Can we now allow Moses probably to answer those ones as we wait for others? Okay, over to you, Moses, now.
All right. Mr. Charlie, I'm enjoying. The number of people I'm employing, fine. Here, it may not be constant. One, I have a workshop in Kenya. You know, when Enterprise Uganda sent me to Kenya, he went there for pitching. But after pitching, I realized there was opportunity in Kenya. And when I look at the products they are producing in Kenya, I said, I think I can beat this and I can win a market here. And I started a business in Kenya of welding. That is in Kapenguria. So there, at the moment, you know, when this lockdown came, we're not allowed to cross, and I decided to close a bit, but I started it. I restarted it. Now in Kenya, I have 3 people handling that work in Kenya. In Serere, I have 9 for the workshop itself. Now, the site, I have 34 people. But the 34 people, sometimes I even get, depends the volume of work. We'll get 3 sites, 4 sites, you need to employ so many people. Sometimes we even get 70, 80. So that one is not fully constant. Somebody was raising a question of how I can handle, I think the work, how I can handle works. Is it works? Or the...
Pilferage, they talked about a loss of money in the business. Pilferage. Money by employees or something. Yes.
Yeah, you know, when you are starting a smaller business, you start as a single person. But after starting, of course, I remember what Mr. Chichi used to tell us, that if you want to succeed in business, you must love people. Actually, there are 3 things that you must love. Number 1, you must love people. Number 2, you must work with the people. Actually, number 2, you must work with the people. Number 3, the same thing, people. By the way, when the business grows, even just if you want to start the business of eggs, selling eggs, and the demand is high, you cannot be there at the same time cooking eggs and you're on the street selling eggs. And you're at the same time collecting eggs from wherever you are picking them from, or from the farmers. You will need someone from to pick eggs from the farm to your home. You will need someone to cook, and you will be selling. Or if it has grown, you will need someone to be helping you to sell, and you are managing other. So you actually, when the business grows, we must adopt and we must study. We get the systems, not just a system, working system. We need to get the working system. You need to find someone is here, and when you install the system, there must be binding laws. You must have a binding law. If someone is accountant, what is he accounting for? If someone is in the kitchen, for example, a business of eggs, you must run this, monitor the system, supervise the system. Someone has delivered the eggs from the farm to your home for you to cook. For me, I'm putting it because that is a business that I was given when I was in ETW training. I did that business of eggs. So how many eggs, how much money do you have for purchasing eggs? You record. I need 10,000 for eggs. And how many eggs can 10,000 buy? You order. Someone is delivering eggs from, I'm now giving the tips out, you can track them, or now you can monitor the system. You have 10,000 for a tray. A tray of eggs has how many eggs? If they are 30, all those eggs, all the 30 eggs delivered, you must see that. But if you are running around selling eggs, cooking, can you discover that? If there are 30 eggs from the farm to your point, there are 30 eggs. How many eggs are boiled or cooked? If there are 30, and how many were issued out for get finished? If they got finished, what is the price set for an egg? If it's 500 shillings, 30 eggs, that is already 15,000. And you bought them at 10,000. So you have to monitor the system, and monitoring the system, you cannot do it alone. You need people to work. By needing people to work, you are selling these eggs to people. People are the ones supplying you. People are the ones who helping you to cook them. So you have to monitor the system. Now the growth. What I learned here, the growth, like if you get a big volume of work, actually, some people go in for loan. For what I always do, I talk to suppliers. Going for the loan for you to buy cement, and for you to get the supply of cement. When you go in for the loan, they charge you interest. But when you got the supplier that, please supply me this, such and such a period of time, I'll get paid. You document it. And when you are paid, that money, you don't eat. Actually, in the contracts or in the business, you don't eat the capital. Eat the profit. And when you are eating the profit, 50% of that profit, you reinvest. Leave at least 30% in case the business drops. Can you pick up from that 30%? Then the other 20% is what you can also use for the family and maybe other things. But for me, what I do, I talk to the suppliers, give you supply credit. At the end of the day, you go and balance with him. It is much far better than going for the loans. And then your savings now will help you pay the labor, pay other things. Now, somebody was talking about the recruitment process, that he is finding a problem. Recruitment, you find when the recruitment process, maybe sometimes, like those who had their cousins, their uncles paying for their fees. Those ones maybe recruited someone in the favor of his uncle. For me, my recruitment, whether you're my brother, whether you're my son, whether you're my wife, whether you're my who, I recruit you according to the productivity or what you are going to produce, what you are going to handle. And I don't ashamed to stop you working because you have messed up. Sometimes we recruit people because we want to favor the clan. We want to show the world, we want to show the relatives that it is so and so has picked that person up. Never. If you do that in a business because somebody is your in-law, so you're fearing your wife that she might chuck you because you have failed to give his brother work. And that brother will come and put you down. Will come and, thack the business and thack you. And they will be the ones to laugh at you again. For me, I don't recruit people on merit. People are recruited according to what they do. I don't recruit someone because it's old. No, you can be old, but can you run the business? Can you run? I don't recruit someone because it maybe has the other. I don't know if I don't know how we can even term it. So that is it.
Thank you, Moses, for those sharp responses. Do we have any other question online? Any other question? Any hand? Hello? Yes? Go ahead. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go
My
ahead.
name is
Go ahead.
Lawrence. Yes, I want to ask Moses, how do you deal with the issue of taxes and registering a business, especially a startup? When would you advise someone to register their business, especially if they're just starting? Because sometimes starting and registering right away means you may either lose a lot of money in taxes, which you may not even be able to handle, or it also means when you register, you'll get opportunities, especially when government or other NGOs are giving out grants or opportunities for loans, soft loans. So from your experience, when would you think someone should register their business, looking at the issue of taxes and all that?
Thank you, Lawrence, for your question. Any other question online? I don't see a hand. Any other hand? All the questions are exhausted. Okay, I think Moses, you can go ahead and answer Lawrence about taxes and registration.
Yes, Juana Lawrence. Actually, the taxes for me, I got registered after two years for VAT. I'm paying VAT. Registration here differs depending on what you are doing. URA cannot force you to register for VAT when you are not beaten that standard of VAT registration. For me, I registered for VAT because there was a high competition for bigger contracts. That's why I went in for VAT registration. There's a VAT registration, but there's registering a business name. There's registering a business name, and there is registering a company name or business. You can register a business name, maybe like Omudong Moses and Sons Enterprises, but there's no word limited. So that one doesn't stop you from doing the business. You can even, you can't register for business when you have not started a business. You have to start a business. And when you register the business, the number of customers or the volume of the business alone can dictate you to register the business. Sometimes people end up messing up. You put all the capital in registering first of all the business because you want also, for example, let me give again example of eggs. People who are selling eggs, those people are not registered, and that is a smaller business. And the community has not stopped from eating eggs. Even they enter their eggs to URA offices. Those URA people eat their eggs. They don't even ask them for the license for registration. They entered the resource officers. They go there. the commercial officers. They got the commercial officers. They sell their eggs to commercial officers. Commercial officer does not ask them where is the trading license or the license for registration. We say hawkers. Some of those hawkers are not even registered. So for you to register the business, like for me, what they asked me, first of all, for me to get registered, do you have an office? They come and see, do you have furniture in the office? So, but if you those ones, sometimes they call them in city pocket what our honey burger businesses. So if you want to, but anyway, if you want to register for the business, you go to a commercial officer, start the process from the commercial officer. First register it has a smaller business, and think registering that business, I think around 40,000 there. Register for that smaller business as you're registering a business name, that Moses Omudong and Sons Enterprises. You register that one, but not the other registration where it involves you to go to PPDA, go to URA, if the business is small. But there's a time when the business grows, like you mean now, when the company that competes with the other highly registered people or companies are hard to go and register there. But it doesn't stop you from doing the business. But I advise and encourage people. I advise and encourage people. I advise and encourage people, if you want to compete for business or for contracts or for works or whatever the business, competitive business must be a registered business. You know, for me, when I started the workshop, I was not registered. But even people used to fear to give me works because I was a gambler. They thought maybe I was going to use their money for gambling. I could even sometimes hide because the business was not registered. I could delegate to someone to go and bargain for me. And once he goes to bargain, you don't know what takes place, what transfer. Maybe as a bargain for 50,000, the guy tells you the person has accepted to pay 40,000. 10,000 is his. But when I got registered, I availed the receipts because so many things that Enterprise Uganda taught me. So registering a business, you can register a business name even at the beginning, but it depends what time, how you have sorted yourself out. How much time will you stay in that business? I see people sometimes, you register the business, they put even a signpost there, but you don't see the business. Mind of building up the business and the profits, that small money, you throw there. The registration doesn't take one day. It is a process while the business is getting you money. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Moses. Excellent. Lawrence, do you still have another question? Our time is almost running up. Can we have Lawrence?
No, sir. No, sir.
Question?
No question. Sorry.
I saw your hand is still up. Yeah. Okay, your hand is still up. Okay, any other question to Moses? Would like to wind up the session? Any comment, addition? Anybody else would like to make a comment, addition?
Actually, maybe.
Have an appreciation for the topic. Yes. Okay, there seems to be nobody, but maybe Maureen. Yeah, yes, Maureen.
Yes,
Maureen,
so I would like to commend and thank so much, Mr. Moses, for being resilient. We are sorry that you went through such a hard upbringing. And for me personally, what I see is whenever I see a child now struggling, I'll have to put in that extra effort to also help them, because we all don't know the future and we can help each other and we can all grow. So much as we are struggling with our businesses, we need to also think about the community around us. So I really appreciate your presentation. And I'm very proud of you that despite that, you made it. And we are really, really proud of you. Thank you for being resilient.
Okay, so.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you for those kind words. I can see there. Godfrey.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, my name is Godfrey Chigwe. And I just want to thank Enterprise Uganda for this opportunity of this kinds of training. And I want to thank Moses for your presentation. Just a simple question. What motivated you to specialize in the welding business? Why did you specialize in the welding business specifically?
Question noted. Millie, you're on. Millie, your question as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Omudong and Enterprise Uganda. I noted one comment that Mr. Omudong raised. The cost of doing business up country is rather challenging. Some of us, including me, I work up country, and this is something to note. So I'm glad that there is another entrepreneur who is facing similar challenges like me, because most of the inputs I have to get from Kampala, and yet the purchasing power, as Mr. Omudong noted, for upcountry clients is relatively lower. So I don't want to spend more time by asking you, Mr. Omudong, how do you beat this cost versus purchasing power? But for all of us who are working up country, it is something that is squeezing us.
Thank you. Zakaria, I can see your hand is up. Zakaria, go ahead.
Yes. My question is about the team you talk of. Like you are a startup, you just start and then you need to bring someone to sell. And later on, you just discover that the enterprise needs more people and you don't have capital for paying those people. How do you support that? Because you have small capital and your enterprise needs some manpower to support to make it to happen. How do you support? And those guys, they need to pay me.
Okay, thank you, Zakaria, for your question. I can see your hand is still up. Oh, okay, it has gone off now. Okay, fine. I think we give an opportunity now to Moses to answer those questions and then summarize his presentation. Over to you, Moses.
Okay, sir. Thanks. Actually, Madam Millie was talking about the cost versus the purchasing power, and she did not ask, but it's already a question. Actually, you don't have to buy something high and sell it low. Either you'll be doing the charity work, yet it's a business. A business needs a profit. It is a profiting business. And if you get a profiting business, the business that makes you profit, there you can survive. Actually, the last caller talked about the paying. Is it paying more workers? You know, if the business is small, you can't bring more workers. There you'll be cheating yourself. Still, I go in the business of eggs. If you have one tray of eggs to sell, why do you need more than 5 people to sell that? And what is the profit for selling that? What profit will you gain from there? Please, when you're employing, engage your business. By the way, there are even things like if the business is still small, there is no need of you setting so many, for you to get so many people to do the same thing. You can't. If the business, maybe the business requires accountant, train. That's why I said with the business, you have to continue training people. You have to continue learning. One person can even do five things if trained. Maybe someone is accountant. The one who is in the accounting office can do something else for you to cut the costs of employing so many people. There you can only balance with that person. If someone is doing one thing and is paid for that one thing, the other one does the other. But now if you bring them together, maybe someone will give 3 responsibilities. Engage that person. When you're with the staff, you're with the staff for maybe around 12 hours. Actually, even 12 hours is too much. 8 hours in a day. But the rest of the hours, you are not within the staff. And those people will communicate. Those people go and say, for me, I'm paid this amount of money because I do A, B, C, D. Those people come in, be open to them. The appointment that you give to someone, give extra duties. That for you, like for me, you'll be doing the accounting section, you'll be doing the painting of the doors, you'll be doing the packaging or the loading and offloading of material, you'll be doing APCD. Other than you hiring is the person to do accountancy, hire another person to do the painting alone, hire another person, yet the customers don't pay money each and every second. The doors are not painted each and every second. Loading and offloading of materials is not each and every second. There's a gap there where someone can do. Maybe the customers come, go and attend the customer. When the customer is not there, go and do the painting. Go and maybe the painting is not there. Go and offload the material. Offload the material, keep it inside. Come back and do the painting. You cut the cost of what? Paying the workers. Sometimes people feel to employ that if I've employed 100 people, I think there I can achieve. For example, at the construction site, you find somebody who's delivering materials. You need someone to accompany the lorry to go and pick the materials each and every time. No, just set it like, go, that person goes there once, or yourself go and inspect the material that they are buying. After that, pay that material, stay at the site. The material delivers, the truck delivers the material at the site. Your work is just to count. By the way, these people who deliver materials at the sites tend to connect with the owners of the material. They can tell you, we have delivered 1,500 bricks in the truck. Our truck can carry that load. Yet they have only delivered 1,200 bricks. If you don't participate in counting, but doesn't mean you have to be following the truck every time. And once they learn that when we are delivering, we deliver this material, they say the owner will count from there. You count once. The second trip, you don't need even to count. The third trip, you count. There you have tracked them. Somebody was asking about, I said, Godfrey, that what motivated me to specify in welding. One, welding was under my profession. So it was my profession, though I'm doing it as a business, but it was my profession also. So only that I didn't have the capital to start. So when I went in for brickwork, I said, I think I should also capitalize on welding. Then two, the products or the number of people who were doing welding there. You see, people living Serere to Soroti, people living Serere to Mbale, a long distance. I said, I think I should bring services next to or closer to the community. But which services are you bringing closer to the community? And how are you going to engage yourself? How are you going to bring the services next? Are you going to bring the services that doesn't bring a positive impact? Are you going to? So I was thinking of reducing or cutting the cost of transporting doors from the distance to my place. Then the other thing, I looked at it as a way of earning a living. Like if I started this, can I also employ other people? Can I also bring up, change the community around? People who were gambling with me, people who were like school dropouts. Can I also change the environment? Can I also help the community to benefit? So if I decided to, if I said I set my business in Kampala, then the Kampala people be benefiting. Yet there's a common person suffering from the village there. So for me to open this business in the village, I wanted at least to carve that gap, employ people around, change the environment, help the government also develop, like reduce the high rate of crime, because now people who have trained in welding and people who are employed, their families now are doing well. Those ones who used to gamble also have changed. So it has reduced the gambling aspect in that area now. Actually, where I set my workshop, there was a house there where we used to gamble. I used to play card. There was a big house. At night, we are there in that house gambling, but that is the very house again I hired for the workshop. So I closed that venue. I closed that stadium for gambling and the rest. Thanks, Mr. Jude. And maybe,
Beautiful.
and maybe,
Yes.
and maybe to shortly to run on the achievement, I've now registered with the PPDA. Oh, URA, I've registered the company that's LETSOM Investments Limited. It does all the construction and the supplies work. I do the construction to even the individuals. Each and every house that you want me to construct, I can, or each and every material that you want. I've now owned my own workshops and the construction equipment, some of them, the tools. I've owned them. I help the government, of course, achieve when the taxes that I pay, and those taxes are brought back to us, maintaining the roads and the rest. I connected to NGOs. I have now the connections to the NGOs. And Habitat Uganda for Humanity, I do their construction works. And by the way, to you, for you to qualify to work with Habitat for Humanity Uganda, you must have done a lot. And for them, there is a close supervision, and they got me as someone who's capable of doing that. I don't know how the research they also did. So the community, of course, now trusts me. I've changed them, and most of people have gotten trained. Most of people have changed. I've picked all the dropouts are now skilled in that area. Most of them. Gambling, I said it is now closed. I employ now a large number of people. I've also owned some of the things, like I've now owned my personal accommodation. I've now also owned the village, which I never used to be there. Also acquired the land, the village, and I constructed where I soon have started setting a smaller farm, which will become a business in the future, because I want it. Actually, I'm trying to cover all the areas. Like after maybe 2 years from now, I'll not be buying so many things that people buy from Kampala, people import from Bali, where like avocados, what I want, all that. I'm now working out for my retirements, actually, because I don't need to remain struggling a lot. I should also see things coming while I'm sitting. I think that is what I wanted to share. And in case of any question, I'm here to answer. And then perhaps maybe my number 0776 84 0102, in case someone wants to follow up with the question or any advice or any mentorship kind of, and also to mentor me, because in the business, learning never stops. You have to learn until the last dot, the last day that you will go off in this world. Thanks a lot.
Beautiful. A round of applause there for Moses. Key learning from Moses, it says, you can't learn how easy or difficult something is without starting. And that's a beautiful ending to today's topic. Starting small. Is it still a myth? I don't know whether it is, but I think Moses has ably demystified all what sometimes we call excuses that people use for not starting a business. But the journey is get started, then you learn is how difficult or easy it is. So on that note, I would like to say, before we go, I'd like to make Zachary, I can see your hand. Do you still have anything else? Oh, it has gone off. Okay, fine, thank you. So I'd like to remind the community here that
yeah, I didn't get the telephone number.
Okay, the telephone number.
Let him say for me the telephone number again.
He has put it on the chat. You can check on the chat. 0776 840 102. It's on the chat. You can find it there.
And the WhatsApp number is 0774 678 117. 0774 678 117.
Thank you, Moses. Now, I would like to remind the community here that this series, recovery series, is just one of the products we have at Enterprise Uganda for inspiring people to get started in business. Next month, as you saw behind Moses' screen there, we are also organizing actually what we call a Global Entrepreneurship Week. It's an annual event we organize at Enterprise Uganda here, and this year we're also organizing a live and a global conference, but it's going to be online. Global Enterprise Week. If you can see behind Moses' screen there, that event is an annual event, and this year we're going to host it from the 8th to 12th November. 8th to 12th November. One of the key objectives of the Global Entrepreneurship Week is to inspire others, to inspire people to get into business, to inspire people to solve problems around the community, to inspire people to become innovative, creative, and finding solutions to the challenges we are facing and the communities and the world over. So that event is commemorated every year by us here. We host it and we invite people who would like to participate in activities to mark this year's Global Entrepreneurship Week as partners or as presenters or as even sponsors. So if you're interested, our team, the address is given on the YouTube screen. Register to participate, register to sponsor activities, or register to sponsor some events. The email is there. Our Global Entrepreneurship team will contact you and we see how to take it forward from here. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been such a wonderful opportunity and privilege to host all of you this inspiring topic presented by Mr. Moses Omudong. Mr. Moses Omudong, we are very grateful, extremely grateful for you to accept to leave your works, to leave your business venue, to come and inspire others here. That is such a kind heart, large heart. We thank you so much. And we give you a round of applause for your kind, very beautiful presentation. You've touched the topics. It's now up to the people who have had, those who are still keeping their dreams in the boxes, keeping their dreams in the drawers, keeping them in their heads. Pick the lesson from Moses. You can't know how tough it is or difficult with it. It is without getting started. And with those few words, I would like to conclude by sharing with you what I heard today. They are giving on our FM. They are saying one of the secrets of the special one, Jose Mourinho, famous world coach, he says, when he was asked, what is your secret to success in business? He said, my secrets are two. One, less daydreaming and more day doing. Less daydreaming and more daydreaming. So let's end the dreams. Let's get started. I thank you all for participating in this series today and wish you all the best of the week. Please join us next week again for a different topic under this recovery series, and we hope to welcome you aboard again. Thank you and bye for now.
Yes.